Hello and good morning on the 21st of October, which is Saturday. It's around 9 o'clock probably, and I just concluded my morning routine. You might wonder, 2 vlogs this month? Yes, 2 vlogs this month because I'm gonna use this one as an accountability tool because we have like a week and a half left of this month and my reading situation is critical. Allow me to explain. On my TBR for October, I had a total of 9 books, out of which I have read a grand total of 2, which is not great. Obviously, I read another one on top of that, but it was not even on my TBR. So we are left with 7 books on my TBR and basically as many days till the end of the month. So let me tell you which books I read so far. I read Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. I finished this book on Monday, I think, or Tuesday of this week. And in my last vlog, I mentioned reading it. I talked about it and I said that so far it was one of the best classic fantasies out there. And since then, I have changed my mind completely. I will talk about this book more in my wrap-up for the month of October, but I didn't like it that much. I gave it 3 stars. I might lower it, I might keep it. I'm still thinking about it. Then the other book I also already finished from my TBR. I already mentioned in my previous wrap-up. That's Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I'm not going to talk about it again. The third book that I finished was Radiance by Grace Draven, which I read in my last reading vlog, so I'm not going to talk about it here as well. I'm going to mention it in my monthly wrap-up. So we're left with Skunk and Badger by Amy Timberlake. This is a middle grade, as far as I'm aware, story, very short one, so it shouldn't take me long to finish, but I haven't started it yet. I have, however, already started Short Story Masterpieces with the twist ending. I read this one in my previous vlog. I have progressed a little bit, as you can see here. I am enjoying it very, very much. I have also started reading Ancient High Tech by Frank Joseph. This is the Bulgarian edition. I am 20 pages into it, so as you can see, pretty much nothing has been read from it. I also started reading, would you believe it, Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, and here I am 110 pages in. I am enjoying this quite a lot, though I thought it was a young adult book, and while the main character is quite young herself, the themes of this book are purely adult. There is absolutely nothing young adult about it, so I don't know how to qualify this so far, but I am enjoying it. It's very adventurous, the atmosphere is great, the world is a very interesting rendition of our own, and I really like the concept of demons as they are presented here in this book. So I'm having a good time, but obviously not very far into this book. And I am still reading as well A Lion's Tale by Chris Jericho. The book is in the bedroom and I don't feel like going to pick it up. It's been so long I'm reading this book and I have made 0 progress since last time I talked about it. So this is insane, really. I also have to read Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie, but it's a gift for me from some of my friends and it hasn't arrived yet because it's arriving from abroad. And I think that's it for now. As you can see, my reading situation is dire, which is kind of surprising given that I quit my job, as I mentioned in my previous vlog, and I should be having more time right now, but because I'm so excited about learning, I'm dedicating like all of my waking hours whilst at home to reading, so I spare no time for pretty much anything else. So I thought this weekend I'm gonna take a break from learning, which I haven't done since I quit my job at the end of September, but I'm saying it right now, I'm gonna spend as much time reading as I can and I'm not gonna touch coding at all. I think, I hope, I don't know. So it is about 6 p.m. right now. I came back from the gym and from shopping and have been reading. I spend most of the day reading. Actually, I am at page 323 of Northern Lights. I removed the dust jacket so you can see it here. I am enjoying this book so much, and I'm only sorry that I'm reading it whilst the weather is very warm. It is 21st of October today and the temperature is about 25 to 26 degrees, so it's very, very warm. But that does not stop me from enjoying the book, obviously. It's just that I think I would have liked it even better had I read it in the deep of winter with some snow around me. But That doesn't matter. Very good book. It's both children's whimsy and adult themes, and I think I quite enjoy that combination of things. By the way, if you're not familiar with the concept of Northern Lights, this is the first book in his Dark Material series, which I think there is a TV show about it, and there is a movie about it called The Golden Compass. It tells the story of a little girl, I think she's 11 or 12 or something like that lives in a world that's very similar to our own. Actually, it carries the same names of countries and all of that, or nearly the same, but it has some different technology, and people have demons, which are creatures kind of like the inner voice that we all have in ourselves, but as an animal representation that follows you around in the physical world. It is really, really cute. I love it. There's a lot of politics. There's a nice, very nice world building. There's some very interesting creatures. There's some very interesting action happening here. I like our main character. She's a character, really. So I'm having a very, very good time, and I think I might be able to actually finish this book today, which is so great. I was hoping I would be able to finish a book during this weekend, but I didn't expect it to happen today already, and I haven't yet. Obviously, I still have the last part of the book, Svalbard. By the way, I wanted to show you something. Okay, so this is a melon. It is a plant that grew all on its own. We ate melons at some point here on the balcony, and probably a seed fell here because I didn't plant it, my boyfriend didn't plant it, so I guess it planted itself and it grew. This is its vine. It goes all the way up here and behind our basil plant. It also goes over here into other plants. It's very invasive, I would say. It goes into everything, and as you can see, it has the habit of attaching itself with these feelers here to everything that it can, so it can continue growing up. And earlier this week, I noticed that we have a melon already. It was like half the size of this one right now, so it's growing really quick, and I'm really looking forward to having some melon that is homegrown. We also have this tomato plant that is self-planted, I would say. We ate some tomatoes, maybe some seeds fell in here. I don't know what happened, but it grew on its own. I didn't plant it, and now it's blooming at the middle towards the end of October. This is also a jalapeno plant with all of these jalapeno peppers that we planted, and they grew. I didn't expect it to produce so much, but it did. We even ate quite a few of them, but we just can't keep up with the plant itself. So I think we're gonna make them into preserves for the winter. So it is now about 11:30 at night, and I'm in my bedroom, and I just finished reading Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, and I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I can't honestly think about anything that's wrong with it, not that I'm trying to find it, but I think I enjoyed it immensely. Both the characters, the world building, the action, the story, all of it. I think I'm gonna have more thoughts about it in my monthly wrap-up. This is a very, very nice book, both for grown-ups and for children, but I would classify it as more of a grown-up book, because it deals with a lot of death and a lot of difficult topics. So I think I would recommend it more for grown-up people. It's just a lovely, lovely story. I can't wait to continue with the rest of the series, although I do not own the books of it, so it probably will take me a while because I'm currently on a book buying ban, and I don't want to ruin it by going and purchasing other books. So this is going to be for today. I think I'm going to go to bed right now, and tomorrow we're going to continue with yet another book, and hopefully I'll be able to finish another one and be done with 2 books in 2 days. Wouldn't that be spectacular? See you tomorrow. Good morning on the 22nd of October. It is about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just about to leave the house because I woke up with the desire to go to a bookstore this morning just to, window shop. I'm not gonna buy anything, but just to walk around amongst the books. And then I'm gonna go to a coffee place and read a little bit because I haven't done that in a very long time, and I think it's about time I did that because I really need motivation in terms of environment in order to do some reading. Plus, it's a fun thing to do. I haven't been out in forever. Now is the time to do it. So let's go get the car and get to the bookstore. And this is my car. Isn't it cute? Okay, so I'm back home on my couch and I'm continuing to read. I guess today I'm going to be focusing on short story masterpieces with the twist ending. I had originally decided to read 1 or 2 stories a day for the rest of the month so that I can, take the time to get through them and think about them and extrapolate the meaning. However, the execution of that decision was not great and I had spent a week without reading it at all. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna try to finish this one today. The stories are very interesting. I wouldn't call their twist endings necessarily shocking. Very often I would guess them and sometimes I wouldn't, but I wouldn't like how it was revealed to us. But generally speaking, I think every single one of these stories is valuable and I enjoy them all. It is now 11:30 and I'm going to continue reading this book for another hour to an hour and a half, and then I'm going to go to the nail salon and then I'm going to go to the gym if everything goes to plan. So it is about 7 p.m. right now, and I am back from the gym and the nail appointment, which took forever, by the way, because the lady was very careful and very gentle and took a painfully long time to actually do everything proper. So I was very happy because it was very relaxing, but it took me a long time and I came back home like 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago, and I spent the time since then cooking some food, having some food, reading a little bit, and failing to stick to my goals, which my goal was to read one single book today so that I can finish it, more specifically the short story masterpieces with twist endings. Other than that, it was a very relaxing weekend, as you saw probably. Nothing much happened besides what I've shown you, and I'm glad I spent it vlogging. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Psych! That's not actually the end of the vlog, and you will see why in a bit. All right, it is Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday morning. I did not film at all yesterday, though a lot of things happened, and it's mostly because a lot of things happened that I didn't have the opportunity. Well, I just didn't do it. It's not that I didn't have the opportunity. Basically, yesterday, the morning started very nicely because I received a package I've been waiting for the longest time. If you've watched my TBR for October, you know that I was expecting a book that was sent to me from some of my friends, and it arrived yesterday, and the book is Best Served Cold. One second. There it is. This is the hardback edition of it, and I absolutely love it. So it arrived in the morning, and I was really, really hyped, and I started reading it a little bit, and got even more hyped because the story started really, really interesting. I had to go out, pay some bills, and then we went to the gym, and when we came back, the internet was gone. It was around 4 p.m. maybe at that point, and so I waited and waited and it never came back. I restarted routers, I asked my neighbors, they also didn't have internet. So I went on the website of the provider, and it turns out that there's some sort of issue, I'm assuming, here around the line, and they had put as a deadline to fix it 8 p.m. yesterday. And so I was like, okay, it's unpleasant, but at least we know when it's going to be fixed and we can wait. There's other things to do. So I read some more from Best Served Cold, and I reached page 166, which is very good achievement for me these days. And when 8 p.m. came, I went to see if the internet is working, and it still wasn't. I waited for half an hour more, still not working. I went on their website again, and they had changed the deadline to today at 6 p.m. And so I decided to start a chat with one of their agents just to know what the issue is and whether there is a possibility that this deadline is going to get extended yet again, or whether there is a possibility for it to be fixed earlier in the day so that I know how to schedule my day today. And I was very, very polite. I tend to be that way because I have worked in service before, and I know how frustrating it is when you have no power and the people who are emailing you or texting you or calling you are being very impatient. I understand it's not an easy job. Most jobs aren't. But despite all of my politeness and everything, the lady was very cross with me. For example, on my question, can you tell me the reason why we are currently without internet? She said that is not something that concerns you. I'm paying the full amount of money for this service, and I know I'm not going to be compensated for this time that it was down, but you have to consider that in this day and age, a lot of people work from home and internet is very important, and they didn't announce this anywhere. You actually have to go on their website and have an account to log in, which is not that easy to make because you can have a contract and not have that account, and sometimes it takes days to create. So you have to go there, you have to log in, and then when you go to the section of the internet, then it has a little message on the bottom that tells you that this is going on. Which is why from all of the people in this building, I was the only one who knew what's going on, and I shared it obviously with my neighbors, but all of them were freaking out because a lot of them also work from home. Anyway, that's a useless tangent, and I know that not everything in this world can be to my liking, but I just felt the need to share it here. Fast forward to today, there's still no internet, so I'm gonna get dressed up and I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and try to do some work and be a little bit productive today. And in the afternoon, I'm planning to go to the gym again and read a little bit more. What else? Oh, I also made progress in short story masterpieces with the twist ending, and I am very hopeful that I will probably finish it today. Also, why am I extending this vlog for so many days? It was supposed to only be a weekend reading vlog, but because I wasn't able to finish a book on the second day, I decided to go until I actually finish another book so that I can have 2 books finished in this vlog. Now, enough of this clip. I'm gonna make myself a little more presentable and we're going to a coffee place to work. Alright, 2 hours later, I am back. I did quite a bit of work and even managed to read a little bit. These short stories are amazing, and I'm starting to realize that the type of short story that I enjoy is mostly the classics because they're told, well, not like fables, but they hide the sense kind of like fables do. And granted, I haven't read that many contemporary short stories. I mostly read fantasy short stories, but I'm really enjoying these. So I'm thinking in the future, if I decide to go for short stories, it's gonna be in this way. Anyways, I'm gonna go back upstairs and I'm gonna see whether we have internet or not. If not, I'm gonna do some reading. If yes, I'm gonna do some more work and wait for my boyfriend to wake up so we can go to the gym. Okay, so I edited the beginning of this vlog basically all the way until this point actually, and I was planning on posting it tonight. Unfortunately, we still don't have internet. It was supposed to be fixed at about 6 p.m., but now it's 8 and we still have no news when it's going to be fixed. They said last time about 9, but I no longer believe them because yesterday it was supposed to be fixed around 8 p.m. and nothing is happening. The issue is actually quite big because it's supposedly affecting the entire region. So I guess I'm going to postpone this vlog for another day. Hopefully the internet is going to be back. Yeah, no good news.
3 days later.
Hello everybody, it is Friday and we finally have internet, so I decided to check in before I close this vlog. It's been a few days of misery and revelations because I realize how dependent we are on the internet nowadays, and it doesn't help that a lot of our work is happening on the internet. I also realized that I sounded quite bitter in the previous clips now that I'm back to calmness, and I wanted to apologize for that because people have bad days, and just because that support agent had a bad day, probably that day, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was texting her and asking her these questions, so she probably was fed up, and that doesn't mean I should be sitting here blasting her, so I'm sorry for that. I'm sure she didn't see it, but I still feel guilty kind of for it. What I'm gonna say though is that the following 3 days were an exercise in frustration, and that's why I didn't film at all, because I didn't want to be even more bitter on camera because we kept on getting different deadlines, and at one point they just stopped updating them. Now, on the bright side, I was able to finish 2 more books, one of them being the short story masterpieces. I gave this one 4.5 stars, and I'm gonna talk more about it in my monthly wrap-up because I have a lot to say. I've put some markers here about some of the stories that made the most impression on me. I'm really happy I read this, really happy. It's a great book. Highly recommend if you can get your hands on it, and if not, I'm gonna recommend you some of the short stories which you can actually find on the internet for free. Now, the other book that I finished was Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I read it really quickly, and unfortunately, I am disappointed. I had very, very high expectations for this book. It was a 5-star prediction. I gave it 3 stars at the end, and I'm gonna talk more about it either in my monthly wrap-up or in a dedicated video. We'll see if I have the time and energy to film a separate video for it, but I have a lot to say. I think what I like the best about Joe Abercrombie's writing in general is his character work, and in this book he fell short. So you're gonna definitely hear me talk about this more again, but this is the end of the vlog. Thank you so much for watching, if you watched until the end, or if you watched only the beginning, or if you're just passing by. I'm really, really grateful for you spending some time watching my videos and taking the time to leave me a comment so we can have a chat, because talking about books with you is one of my most favorite things out there. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one, or you'll see me. I don't know, vlogging is weird. Bye.